Welcome back, design students. In this video, we're going to take the walk cycle that we created earlier, and we're going to make our character actually move forward as he walks. What we have right now is something called an infinite walk cycle, but what we need to make him move forward is something called a progressive walk cycle. So what we have right now is our walk cycle. It goes for 33 frames, and it basically loops. And the reason this animation loops is because it ends on the same frame that it began on, and it just goes for 33 frames. If I were to add 300 frames, then what would happen is our character would simply walk 2 steps and stop. So the first thing we need to do is add more frames to the timeline. So I want you to right-click on the play button and type in a number here. Could be 300, could be 200, it doesn't really matter. But make it more than 100 frames and click OK. And now you should have many more frames in your timeline. The next thing we need to do is go to the Layer Manager, make sure that's activated. And let's go ahead and freeze our character mesh for a minute so that we can just have the controls layer visible and unfrozen. And let's select everything in the scene, which would be all the controllers that we created. And then we're going to go to the curve editor. And when we open up the curve editor, you will see that we have our animation right here. These are all the things that are animated at the moment. And as you can see, after that 33 frames here, nothing happens. And nothing happens before that first frame either. So we want this animation here to continue outward. So to make that happen, select all of the tracks that are in your curve editor, all the animated tracks here, all the keyframes. And we need to click this button here. That is the parameter curve out of range type button. Now we can set a number of different things to happen before and after the animation starts. Right now it's constant. We could cycle it, we could loop it, we could ping pong it, which means it'll go back and forth. We could make it linear, or we could have something called a relative repeat. And this is the one we want here. So select this one and click OK. And you'll see now that our animation is going to continue no matter how many frames we have in the timeline. So let's close the curve editor for now, and you'll see this is true. I'm going to unfreeze the character here and just click play, and he will just continue walking no matter how many frames are in the timeline. I could have 1,000 frames in here, and he would just continue to do his walking thing. One of the things I just noticed, though, is a problem I have to deal with, is if you watch the eye, you'll see that it continuously faces more and more down each time he walks with each step. And if I select the eye controller and right-click and bring up the curve editor, you can see what's happening here. This should not go down, it should stay level. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to grab this and bring up that out of range type. I'm going to select constant, click OK. And then I need to fix this. And the way I need to fix it is, I need to make sure that these are the same as these. So I'm going to grab this one and copy that value and paste it in there. I'm going to grab this value and copy it and paste it in here. Then I'm going to select everything again, bring up that panel, and select relative repeat. And hopefully it'll just go out level. There we go. Okay, so that's the first step in creating a progressive walk cycle. In the next video, we will actually make him move forward. And I'll see you then.